What up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man RTP, Skull Gang in the building. You know what time it is. I am here. Pewter and Red podcast. We're here with another live stream. So I wanted to make this live stream today, but before we get going, let's get some rhythm. There we go. Let's get the ticker going. All right, let's go. Let's talk about it. So I wanted to make this live stream because I've been getting a lot of comments in the comment section. Shout out to everybody who's been commenting in the comment section. And a lot of it was from the film breakdown that we did. Tampa Bay Rays fan in the building. Just got home from work. That's what's up. So we're getting comments in the comment section, and a lot of it is, oh, you're biased towards Baker. It looks bad that you're biased towards Baker. And so I thought I'd make this video here, this live stream. I am not biased towards Baker. Give me my close up. I'm not biased towards Baker at all. I've said this many times. I want the best for the football team, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Plain and simple. That's just what it is. I happen to think Kyle Trask is not only more explosive, but I believe that his ceiling is a lot higher than what Baker's is. I believe we know what Baker is. I believe he's already capped out. We already know the highest he can go. This quarterback competition is going to be hard for Kyle Trask to win. Kyle Trask is going to have to, I believe, not just beat out Baker, who I truly believe already has beaten out Baker. We know that he's better than Baker, but that's not enough to win this quarterback competition. You've heard me many times say this. During all these live streams, I've said many times I believe Trask is the better quarterback than Baker. I believe he's already showed it in training camp. But I've also have said that I still believe Baker will end up starting. I think it's going to take a lot for Baker not to start. And it is possible. It is very possible. It is very possible for Kyle Trask to end up starting week 1, depending on how he looks this week. This week coming up is going to determine it all. It is going to determine it all. If Baker looks good and Kyle Trask looks good, guess what? Baker probably is going to start. I've said, whether it's conspiracy or how I believe the quarterback competition is going to go, I believe Baker is going to be the starting quarterback, and then Trask is going to come in and take over. That is just how I think it's going to go down. I just think it's going to go down like that. Even though I believe that, I have to break down the film the way I see it. It is not hating on Baker. It is showing you what Baker is and who Baker is. We have gone through this. I have gone through this before, where I broke down film of Tom Brady and explained to people why we are having a bad offense. I explained to people 2 years ago, I explained to people that yes, Brady is good and we still have a chance at winning the championship, going back to back. But I have noticed that some of Brady's balls have been in and out when it comes to accuracy. It's kind of going in and out, and it's been showing up a little bit more than usual. This was 2 years ago. People thought I was hating on Brady. Then last year, I broke down Brady's film and explained to people why our offense is as bad as it is. Was it Byron's play calling? I would say 10%. Was it the O-line? I would say 50%. Was it Brady, I would say, is the other 50%, or I should say 40%. Or actually, I would say the O-line is 40%, and I would say Brady is 50% of why our offense was so bad last year. And I broke it down. It wasn't just his arm strength, which it was the biggest factor. His arm strength and accuracy throwing down the field was the biggest factor why Brady was playing bad. But also decision making of Brady playing bad. Also being scared to be hit was a reason why Brady was playing bad. Not going through his progressions was a reason why Brady was playing. There was a lot of different reasons why Brady was playing bad. It wasn't just the accuracy down the field. It was accuracy in the mid-range, accuracy even in the short range after he threw out his arm trying to throw down the field. It was a lot of things, a lot of reasons. And people thought I was hating on Brady. Then I started showing people, look, don't just take me, some YouTube guy on YouTube who you don't believe knows what he's talking about. Okay, I get it. Some YouTube guy that's a Bucs fan that whatever, never played in the NFL. Fine. If you don't believe all the years that I've been on YouTube breaking down film and experimenting and trying to figure out how things should work, if you don't believe all the experience of me trying to do that, fine, I get it. I'm some YouTube guy. But what about a Hall of Fame, Super Bowl winning Hall of Famer quarterback in Kurt Warner? Well, I sent out a link to a lot of people saying, don't take my word for it. Here's Super Bowl winning Hall of Famer quarterback Kurt Warner explaining the same thing I was explaining about Tom Brady. Now you can't say I'm hating. Now you can't say I'm biased. And now you can't say that I don't know what I'm talking about. When I talk about Baker Mayfield, I say, can we win with Baker? Yes, we can win with Baker. But I think we can win with Kyle Trask as well. Will the win totals be the same? I will tell you the difference between the two. I think there's going to be games that Kyle Trask costs us, whether it's an interception we shouldn't have thrown and it cost us the game, maybe fumbling the ball and costing us the game. He's going to cost us a game here or there. Baker Mayfield can cost us some games as well, as far as the offense just didn't have it today. The offense just didn't have it today. That's how Baker can cost us some games, as far as our offense being anemic, our offense not being able to pull their weight. There's going to be a lot of games, and we're going to have to really depend on our defense to carry us in a lot of games. Same thing with Trask. There's going to be games where defense is going to have to carry us as well. But with Trask, I truly believe there will be games where the offense can actually not only carry their own weight, but I believe there could be some games where Kyle Trask and the offense can actually carry the defense. I think it could be that explosive. With Kyle Trask, I see our offense going back to being explosive. This is what we're used to. Whether you talk about Brady, obviously not the last year, but the first 2 years of with Brady, all the years with Jameis, we were a very explosive offense. We were literally top 2 for most of Jameis's years and for Brady's years. Top 2 in passing offense. Now, obviously, Jameis gave us a lot of turnovers. It is what it is. I don't see us getting a lot of turnovers with Kyle Trask. But that's the other part with Baker. Baker has had the most turnovers, I believe. I could be wrong. I know for a fact that it's definitely top 5. It could definitely be top 2. I think I could be wrong with the most turnovers since Baker has came into the league. Baker turns over the ball just as much as Jameis was turning over the ball. Now, obviously, he never had a 30-30, but they never had to put that much on his shoulders like they put on Jameis. And Jameis never had a type of team that Baker had. He never had a run game, never had a defense like Baker had. But Baker turned over the ball at a high rate just like Jameis. So not only are we going to have an anemic offense, possibly, with Baker, but we can have some turnover situations with Baker as well. Now, is it possible that Baker can go off in a game here and there? Yes, I do think it's possible. I do think it's possible Baker can have one of those games where we light it up offensively. But those are going to be rare. Those, I believe, are going to be rare. Trask, I think it could start off rare, and then it could catch fire, and Trask could just get the hang of the NFL, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the season, we got a decent offense that can pull their own weight. That's what I see. So that's the difference between Trask and Baker all around offensively. And I've explained this already. Baker has problems under center. When he's under center, he's a little bit more jittery. He really don't go through his progressions when he's under center. He seems to go progression 1, which is probably the biggest play you can have. It's pretty much the shot or the biggest play you can have. And if it's not there, he fakes going through all his progressions and he checks the ball down. The only time he plays at his best is when he's bootlegging, running outside the pocket. And even then, still, he might miss some reads. That is Baker. Plain and simple. Trask, he can read all of it. He might hold on to the ball a little bit too long at times, but he can read the first, he can read the second. He'll check it down. He'll do it. He'll run through the offense. He runs the offense. We might have to deal with some turnovers and some bumps and bruises because of him learning the speed of the NFL. Some fumbling is, just learning experience. He's basically a rookie. But he's already shown that he can grow from mistakes. We've seen it in training camp. We've seen it during the years. Every year he's been with us, he's grown with us. The first year he was like super raw. Second year he showed big time achievement in mechanics. And then the third year when he's actually had a training camp, we saw this leap. He shows progression throughout the whole career with us. He shows he learns and he progresses. And at a fast rate. Now, I wanted to make this live stream because people say I'm hating on Baker. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not. I am just telling you what we're going to have with Baker. And I am telling you what we're going to have with Trask. And I'd rather go with Trask because at the end of this year, I would rather say we can fully say no on Trask and let's go get our draft quarterback. Or, bring someone in. Who knows? With Baker, at the end of the year, I pretty much feel like no matter what, we're going to feel like, thank you for your service, Baker, but we're going to go with someone else. Our offense can be better, more productive, more efficient. I feel like that's what's going to happen. So if we're going to waste the season, listen, here's the other part about this, Bucks fans. I don't know if you guys know, but this season doesn't mean anything. This season, yes. Are we trying to win the division? Yes, we're trying to win the division. Are we trying to get in the playoffs? Yes, we're trying to get in the playoffs. Are we going to try to do something once we're in the playoffs? Yes, we're going to try to win it all once we get into the playoffs. But this season means nothing. We're not going all in. This season was made to get our books right. And while we're getting our books right, we want to find out what we have in Kyle Trask. Now, if we found out what's going on with Kyle Trask and we think we might have something, we're going to play him in the season. This is why I think no matter what, Kyle Trask will play this year. no matter what. Unless Baker shows us right away and looks like, oh, we're a playoff team with Baker. Unless he shows us that, which I doubt is going to happen. He might be able to win games for us. He might have a game or two where we look like a playoff offense. But overall, in average, I think we'll look okay and we'll look good enough to just win games with our defense and Baker getting put in good spots and scoring some touchdowns, and we win games like that. And if that's the case, there's any sign of losing, we're throwing Trask in and we're going to find out what Trask is. And if we can do all that while winning the division, which we truly believe we can, I truly believe we can, just because of the roster that we have and the veterans that we still have here, then great. If we can make a playoff push this year while we're trying to figure out what we got in Kyle Trask, then great. But the overall point of this season this year is to get our books right. That is it. That is the main thing of this year's season. This is a win or win situation. We either go into the playoffs and find out we got a quarterback in Trask, that's a win, or we find out we don't got a quarterback in Trask and we don't make the playoffs and then we go draft our quarterback. That's a win. The only way we can lose in this season, the only way we can lose this season, or this season can be a wasted season, you can say, is if we go and whether we barely win the division or we barely lose the division or we really lose the division and Baker does and we give that man a contract, that is the only way this season will be a loss. Besides that happening, this is a win-win for us. We're here just to clear out contracts, get that situated. That way we can go get our quarterback or go find our quarterback, and then we can make our playoff and Super Bowl contending push again. Because we got plenty of talent and we got plenty of veterans that are ready to go. And people act like, oh, we're not in no real rebuilding mode. Maybe retooling our depth, but that's what we're doing right now with all these youngsters. Seeing all the depth we can have with these youngsters, and then if we got to bring any free agents the following offseason, we'll do that. But as of right now, it don't look like it. We'll just see. But that's what we're doing this year. We're clearing the table right now with the contracts. And that doesn't mean that once Mike Evans' contract is done or Levante's done, then we're done with them. No, that just means we're clearing the contracts that are in a bad situation. And then when everything's good, then we can redo everybody's contracts and put ourselves in a better situation so we can make that push again and give out contracts and go all in and front load contracts again and whatever we got to do to keep the team that we need, that we feel is a Super Bowl contending team, once we find who our quarterback is. That's what this season's about. So when I say everything that I say about Baker, it's not to bash him. It's just to give you the real expectations about Baker. And if you think that I do not know what I am talking about, I have put 2 links in the description box. One is, once again, Super Bowl winning Hall of Famer Kurt Warner breaking down Baker with the Browns. And the second link is Kurt Warner once again breaking down Baker with the Rams. Now, he might be a lot more gentle with it. He might not say nothing negative about Baker. That's not my job. Listen, he's a personality. You know, he's a Hall of Famer. He's not going to say nothing bad about these quarterbacks. But listen to what he says about Baker. He doesn't say it's limitation. He might word it like this guy not a lot of quarterbacks can do this or whatever and stuff like that. But listen to what he's saying. And all he's saying is the exact same thing that I'm saying. The only difference is I'm using words like limitation. I'm using words like this is all he can do. Baker's going to use words like, this is what he does good. Which, again, maybe I should use words like that and make people think that I'm not bashing somebody, but it's not my job. It really isn't. My job is to be realistic here and let you guys know. If it sounds like I'm bashing, I'm sorry. I am not bashing. I am just letting you know what the ceiling is, what the floor is, and what I think he's going to be with us, and what we have to do, and what our limitation is going to be with him. And I think we do have a limitation with Trask as well, but we don't know what that limitation is yet. The only limitation that we know we have with Trask is that he's young and inexperienced. Besides that, we don't know what he can't do yet. You know what I'm saying? So I broke that down as many times as I can. And again, I wanted to make this video because I wanted people to go. Now you have a link. You have two links. It's one, Kurt Warner breaking down Baker when he's with the Browns before he even went to the Panthers. He was like, so will Baker go to the Panthers or Baker go to the Seattle Seahawks? I don't know, but let's see what Baker can do. And then he breaks down Baker. And then there's another one where he does another one for Baker after he had his year last year with the Rams. He breaks that down. This is what Baker did good with the Rams. And he's going to say the same type of stuff that I was saying. He's going to literally talk about the same type of routes that we're doing. And you're going to see that. You're going to see us using the same type of routes with the that the Rams are using. And the same type of, he's going to break down the routes just like I've been breaking them down. He's going to talk about this guy's going to do this and this guy's going to do this right behind him. And it's going to open it, all the same stuff. He might use better words though. And you might understand him more if you think, I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe his nice words that he's using might make you feel a little bit more comfortable of what I'm saying about Baker's limitations. And that's what this channel, again, that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. I'm not trying to spin a narrative a certain way. I am just trying to be the most honest I can be about my team, my football team, and trying to explain to everybody why I see the certain things I see. Let me break down. Let me go through to some of these comments. Rashad West in the building. Brady was just old and sorry, but crazy in the building. Says Skull Gang in the building. What I missed? Not much, man. I just wanted to make this video and just let people know that I'm not being biased. I'm just breaking him down the way I know that the offense is supposed to be ran and what I'm seeing from Baker. I mean, again, there's even a part where he says Baker has everything he wanted here. Baker has it. He has the route going here. He has 3 guys over here and only 2 defenders. So everything he wanted on this side of the ball, Baker has, but for some reason he doesn't throw it there. He goes off of the first read and then he checks it down. He says everything I said. He just doesn't say this is what he does. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it and I tell you, because I've already seen it a few times, I see a pattern and I tell you this is what Baker does. Warner breaks it down and says the same thing. He just doesn't say that this is what he does. But if you listen to him, he'll say, I don't know what he does here. I don't know why he did that, but this is what he did. And I'm just telling you the same thing, but I'm saying, yeah, this is what he does. So, Clack White in the building. Not that we wanted it to, but Trask took sacks well without losing the ball. Yes, he did. He did. That was one thing that I was a little bit like, okay, I seen him learn a little bit. I can't say he learned from that, but I definitely did see a difference between him taking sacks this year so far than last year. Last year, he was still trying to make a play while he was getting sacked. This year, he just took the ball, just took the sack. So you are right about that. Rashad says Carr got more turnovers than Baker since 2019. Yeah, but I believe the stat that I said was since Baker's been in the league. I don't think they came in the league in the same time. Rashad West says, and one thing both said during PC after games was that Canales did a good job calling the plays according to the strengths of the quarterback. So I think Baker will be put in an advantageous situation. Yes, so that could have been it, which is why I said that Baker was babied, right? And Kyle Trask wasn't, right? Baker does that well, the whole bootleg and all that stuff. And we know Kyle Trask can do that, but he can also play under center, right? And that's what I think happened in the first preseason game. It just makes sense. I think with Baker, they already know the best thing about Baker is rolling him out. Let's let him roll out and just, can we win like that? That's what I think they did with Baker. Is our offense good enough to play Baker the way we know we need to play Baker during the season? Is it good enough? So let's do that with Baker. And once he had his drive, right, which it really wasn't a drive. He started like at the 45-yard line, had like 2 easy throws, and then he had one easy throw. Then he had like a 15-yard penalty that put him up closer. Then he had like another good easy throw, like easy bootleg stuff. And then he had a check down, and then he had a throw for the touchdown. Very easy. It wasn't even him driving down the field, really. So it was like once he got the touchdown, then they kind of like, okay, let's just open it up and see if he can do what we know that Kyle Trask can do better. And then when Kyle Trask came in the game, they just want to see how good can Kyle Trask do this. We know we can open it up with Kyle Trask like this. We already know he's better at Baker than doing this. But let's just see if we play the whole game opening it up like this with Kyle Trask, how would that game go? Now, he did throw the interception, but I don't think they got to see enough of what Kyle Trask was able to do because of the O-line giving up sacks, the wide receivers dropping passes, not continuing the third down. They weren't able to see what they wanted to see enough for Kyle Trask, I believe. But yeah, that makes sense, what you're saying. Brent O'Neill in the building. I'd rather have Trask. We will get the same thing play from a rookie quarterback next year. Team Money in the building. If you get the books right, but it gets Bowles fired, is that not bad? I don't think he's going to get fired. He has to be really bad for him to get fired. I don't think he's going to get fired. Like I said, I don't think he's on the hot seat like people think he is. Pac-Man in the building. Can't wait to see Baker lead this team to winning the division. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if he does, then I ain't mad at it. D Diggity Mac in the building. Miggity Mac. You are correct about Baker. You broke it down expertly. Thank you. I appreciate it. Team Money says, Pac-Man, who your new team? And Pac-Man says the Bengals. That means nothing else to say, right? But that's it. We are 30 minutes. That's all. We didn't want to make it a long live stream or anything like that. I just wanted to break this down because I wanted people to understand, man. Because I know a lot of you guys are new. A lot of you guys might not know what I'm really about. And even when people tell you what they're about, actions speak louder than words. So I feel like I needed to make this video because a lot of people in the comment section, you're hating on Baker. A lot of people was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen, it's not the first time. It's not the last time. A lot of people are going to think that I don't know what I'm talking about. But once again, I got backup. I got Kurt Warner. Go ahead. Listen to him, man. Listen to him if you don't want to listen to me. So once again, 2 links in the description box. Let me triple check, make sure it is in the description box. You can see them right now. Yep, they're both right there. You can literally click on it and watch it and listen to Kurt Warner break it down. Matter of fact, I should look to see if he has any breakdown of Kyle Trask. I should see if he has any of that. And if he doesn't, y'all should put in the comment section, hey, break down Kyle Trask. See what he says about Kyle Trask. But yeah, again, you're going to hear a lot of positive because Kurt Warner doesn't, he doesn't say nothing negative. He'll let you know. If you listen to him, he'll let you know But he's not going to tear a quarterback down. He even says it, like, his job is not to tear no quarterback down. So he's going to show you some things that they need to get better at. And it'll be like one, maybe two plays that they need to get better at. And then he'll show you a whole bunch of good plays. But all you have to do is listen to the bad thing that he says. And it'll be something that I talked about. And listen to all the good things that he said, and it'll be the same thing that I talk about. The only difference is I say it as, this is all he can do. And you won't see other things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's your man RTP. Once again, if you appreciate the channel, if you appreciate me, appreciate the channel and everything like that, do me a favor, hit the like button. We are growing still. We are still growing. It's still hot right now. The channel is still hot. Again, the subscription slowed down a little bit, but we are still hot. We will grow again this weekend when we watch preseason 2. Trust me, the channel's still growing. So don't stop showing love. Don't stop doing your job. You guys are doing awesome. Continue to share the channel. All that good stuff, man. We're doing a heck of a job, man. So just continue to do that. What else? I still got content. It's just work has picked up a lot at my job, so I haven't been able to really come on here talking about Baker has actually Sunday we had a practice, and yesterday we had our last practice. Today we're actually on our way to New Jersey or wherever the Jets hold their practice to do joint practice. We're on our way today. Yesterday was our last practice. So Sunday, both quarterbacks were on fire Sunday. And yesterday, both quarterbacks were whatever. But Baker had the better day yesterday. But this completely, I mean, it's too much of a coincidence, just to wrap this up. It's too much of a coincidence that both of the quarterbacks are having either really good days or kind of mid days. We're working on things in practices right now. We're installing more and more stuff, and that's just what it is. We're literally working on certain things. So we're either having a practice where the offense is just opening up and just, all right, let's get it, and these quarterbacks are going off, or we're working on something and the practice seems a little bit mid. That's what it seems like. So, like I said, there was no practice today. Tomorrow there should be joint practice. We're only going to have one joint. We're supposed to have two, but we're only going to have one joint practice. Today is what? Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So we should have the joint practice tomorrow. And then I believe tomorrow's Wednesday. So then Thursday we should have a practice by ourselves. Friday we don't practice, and then Saturday I believe is the game. So that's how it goes. It's your man RTP here with the Pewter and Red podcast. Remember, Pewter and Red till we're cold and dead. I'll see you guys later. You guys be safe. We're out. Deuce.